Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, we'll be covering part 2 to a story I covered about a week and a half ago, which was titled, While Wife Was Sneaking Around with Her Lover, Husband Played the Long Game Preparing to Ruin Them. And a shout out to all you guys that let me know there's an update here. And guys, as a recap, because this was about a week and a half ago, this is about a husband and father who's been married for 20 plus years. He and his wife have 3 kids together, but they're all adults. The oldest is like in her early 30s, the other 2 the 20s. And 7 months ago, he discovered she was having an affair that appeared to be going on for quite some time with a guy like 20 years younger. And how did it all start? Because they were all at a bar, his wife, him, a bunch of friends, and this drunken wacko had his hands on his wife. He went to confront him, all that. They were acting weird. Next thing you know, this guy sucker punched him, knocked him down. Next thing you know, in the hospital. And this is when the guy did his homework and found out, yeah, she's been cheating on him. And so instead of freaking out, losing his mind, he played it cool. Played the long game. Gathered evidence with absolute proof that she was cheating on him. Dealt with the despair and the hurt. And planned his attack. Planned how he's going to handle things. Got a lawyer. And it ended with, obviously, it seemed like he found out from reading her text that she was planning to try reconciling. And broke it off with that guy, but this guy was done, and he had everything was pretty close to serving her, and ended on that note. And this update is actually going to be 3 mini updates since then, where he's had her served and all that. And it's an example, guys, how it's amazing how strong men can be. You know, because it'd be very easy for him to just lose his mind the second he found out. But he played it cool. He made sure all the I's were dotted, the T's were crossed, got everything ready to handle it like a boss. And this is exactly what he's doing. So you'll see as we get into this. So it starts off, or continues. He says, well, it's done. Yesterday, after she left with her BFF and 2 other lady friends on her shopping trip, I set everything in motion. It mostly went as planned. The moving guys were here about 2 hours late, but that worked out okay. Most of my stuff I had packed slowly over the past few weeks, and the bulk of the things to move were large items. Mainly my office. Desk, chair, bookcases, etc. It took about 2 hours to pack up and move the office stuff and store my workshop items. Awesome. She's out with her girlfriends doing Lord knows what, and the moving company comes and packs up all the stuff. And they were late. Can you imagine if they showed up and then the wife came back home during the moving process? But man, boss move. Early that morning, in a fit of pettiness, I took a hacksaw to my wedding band and cut it in 2. I placed it on top of the divorce papers and a copy of the evidence I had of her affair, minus anything about her BFF or anything from their texts, closed the door and left. That is awesome. Sawed the freaking ring in half. There you go, honey. Oh. I met with two of my 3 children in person, and the youngest could not make it but joined via FaceTime. That was difficult. Telling your children something of this nature is hard to do no matter what their age is. There was a lot of crying, a lot of anger too. They asked the typical questions, are you sure? Can you work through this? Again, it was tough. No, children, we can't work through this. And yes, I'm sure. I have all the evidence. But, you know, no kid, whether they're young or old, wants to hear that their mom and dad, who they think are perfect, that this would happen. Well, I told them who it was, and given his history, they should probably be more aware of their surroundings, though I don't think it will come to anything violent. Against them, at least. I would not tell them where I'm going or staying yet, and I explained I need some space and peace and quiet, that I did not want to put them in a position to lie to their mother. I explained if they need to get up with me and to contact their aunt. After some long hugs, I headed to my new house. Remember, he's working with his sister and brother-in-law. They got him a place to stay during all this. And notice I mentioned about he told him who the guy was she's having the affair with, and mentioned just to be careful, because that's the guy who freaking lost it and, you know, knocked him out in the freaking bar when he had his back turned to him. And by the way, that guy got arrested and community service and all that. I did call my brother's wife, I did call my wife's brother. He and I have more of a brother-type relationship than the brother-in-law, so I felt I needed to update him on things. He wished me luck, and we made plans to get together later after things had settled down. I then phoned my sister and updated her, and then shut my phone down. Yeah, because he's going to get bombarded with messages and calls. Well, I slept really hard last night. I believe the mental and physical exhaustion has finally caught up with me. Emotionally, I'm pretty even. No fits of anger or sorrow. I think relief is a good description of what I'm feeling right now. I can't update you on my soon-to-be ex. I turned my phone on long enough to check on my kids and post this. There are a lot of missed phone calls and texts from her. I've not read any of them, though I can see the beginning of a few of them in the preview. Things like lots of "I'm sorry, please call," and "Where are you?" Texts I plan on ignoring. I'm not finished. I have others to notify, so I'll update then. Thanks all. Thank you to everyone. So that's the end of that first update. There's two more here. So she's panicking. She's losing it. And you know what? Tough crap. Let her sweat. I mean, it's pretty obvious. The divorce papers are on the kitchen table with his wedding ring sawed in half. That's a good touch. I like that. All right, next update. He says the OBS, the other betrayed spouse, as in the guy that was banging his wife was married too, big surprise. She's been notified. On Monday, I went into the office long enough to contact a messenger service. I barely missed my soon-to-be ex, who had come by looking for me. Anyway, I had a messenger take the evidence and a letter to the other betrayed spouse at her workplace. I made sure she signed it. I then sent a text to my soon-to-be ex. The exchange went like this. I said, I have notified the OBS and gave her the same evidence I left you. There was about a 5-minute delay, and she replied and said, I'm sorry you felt the need to do that, but I understand. No, his soon-to-be ex does not understand. What a load of crap. After no reply from me, she then texted, does this mean we can talk? No, asshole, this doesn't mean we can talk. I then shut my phone off. Anyway, the letter briefly described what was in the package, and I gave her an email to contact me, a new Gmail. If she wanted, I did hear from her the next day, just to thank you, and she would reach out and see if she decided that she wanted to speak to me. Again, this is not his soon-to-be ex-wife. This is the woman who is married to the guy who's banging his wife. Now, why did I text my soon-to-be ex-wife? I felt she needed to know for safety reasons. I am sure one of my children would have done it for me, but I am not going to involve my children in this any more than they have to be. I still not have read any texts or emails or voicemails from my soon-to-be ex. I still need to notify the BFF's husband, and then maybe I can let this play out on its own from here. Thanks for the posts and DMs. Your support has been generous and appreciated. Well, there you go. I wouldn't have reached out to his ex about that. He should not have texted his ex. You know? I mean, he let the guy that was banging his wife's wife know about all this stuff. Fine. Let that deal with. Let that situation handle itself. You know what I mean? But anyhow, because now she's thinking, can we talk? He's giving her some hope here. But anyhow, good for him. And yeah, sooner or later he's going to read her texts and hear her voicemails, but it's probably good he doesn't right now. All right, next update. It says, a small update here. This probably is more of a therapy post. First, the other betrayed spouse, she reached out again last night and stated the following. While I appreciate you informing me of my husband's infidelity, I'm not interested in any long conversations with you or anybody else about this. Just please provide me the answers to the following questions. She says, do you plan to contact my husband's workplace? Translation, this woman's worried he's going to get fired. Do you plan to divorce your wife? The answer to the first one was simply, I have not thought that much about it. So I told her the truth that I don't know yet. The second one was a resounding yes. Yeah, I'm going to divorce my wife for hooking up with your husband for 7 months, and the same husband that freaking punched me. That's why your husband's doing community service, lady. She wants to know if he's going to report him to his workplace, because he and this guy's ex work together. If he gets fired, that's going to impact her living situation. Or if she divorces him, he doesn't have a job, that's going to impact the divorce and alimony. The soon-to-be ex has stopped calling, but over the last few days has been sending one long text around 8 p.m. I've not read the messages, but she appears to be just using it as a way to talk to me, confessional, and therapy. I still plan on telling the BFF's husband I have that plan too. Remember from the first story that his wife here, her best friend, has known about this the whole time, has been egging her on, and her best friend, big surprise, a big giant cheater too. She's cheating on her husband. She was hooking up with one of her daughter's teachers in the neighborhood. Yeah, this is why I say, guys, pay attention to who your girl hangs out with. And usually if your wife or girlfriend's cheating, guarantee you there's at least one girlfriend that knows and is doing the same thing. I'm not ready for the emotional roller coaster since leaving. I thought I had put any doubts and fears behind me so they don't creep in. I'm doing the whole workout thing, no drinking and hobbies, so I'm keeping myself busy. I've been speaking with others via DM, and I think therapy might be something I need to look into. I do seem lost, and after all the planning and goal setting to leave, and I found myself at lost at what to do. That is totally understandable. He's been with this woman for decades, has kids with her, all that, and now all of a sudden, like that, everything's changed. It's going to take time to adapt to his new world, but going to a gym, getting exercise, getting out, spending time with people you can trust, those are all paths towards starting over. But it's going to take him a long time. You can't just suddenly like, boom, I feel better, everything's great now. No. One final thing. My kids informed me that their mother has asked for them to come and meet her in our old home tomorrow. That's all the info I have, and then she told me that she wanted to clear the air and answer any questions they have. Here we go. I can't imagine the crap she's going to tell his kids. The twisting things around. You know, given her actions, she's going to make it out to be that he's the bad guy. Your dad didn't pay attention to me. Your dad was working so much. That's why I had to cheat. You know, she's going to say, I'm trying to reach out to your dad, but he won't talk to me. He wants the divorce. You know she's going to blame it all on him. Well, that is very typical of her. She probably plans on holding this meeting and be brutally honest and sincere in her apologies, which is a good thing. I wouldn't hold your breath, amigo. But in her mind, after that, it will have been settled. I hope I'm wrong, but that's her usual way of handling conflicts and issues. Oh yes, my children know where I'm staying right now. They have already informed their mother to not ask, and they will respect my request for privacy. And nothing in the legal front yet, but that is still a little too soon. So I can tell you right now, guys, this is going to be a long story. We're just getting started. This is part 2, but this part 2 has like 3 mini updates here. So every so often I'll do another update on things when there's enough mini updates to make it a justifiable, decent length video here. But there you go. And you know, this ain't just going to end like that. There's going to be a lot more drama because we even got into her getting a lawyer and their lawyers meeting and handling things like alimony and the assets and all the other crap, and Lord knows what she's gonna tell the kids. And then obviously when the hot-headed lover of hers who attacked him in the bar finds out some crazy crap he might do. You know, so we're just getting started here. Now, there are a bunch of questions people had from the comments section, and he responds to them, you know, giving more light on some issues. So I'm going to read those before I wrap this up. One guy says to him, in your first post, you asked whether ghosting or confrontation should be your goal. With how things have developed now, are you satisfied with the option that you chose to ghost her? Wish you all the best, stay strong, and stay firm. When will your wife return from the trip? And he this is from an earlier post, and he says, yes, I am. It has allowed me some time to clarify, to have some clarity and peace. I do not recommend waiting as long as I did if possible. I need to get some logistics handled, and I'm glad I did, but I'm just now realizing the stress that it caused me. Yeah, think about it, 7 months of keeping that all quiet. I mean, this dude's amazing. Ghosting her is not something I can do forever. We have kids, and for privacy reasons, I haven't divulged until now, and we have grandkids. Until now, we have grandkids, but I think continuing as long as practical will be best. Oh, so he's a grandfather. I didn't know there were grandkids in here. Obviously, he kept this quiet. That's a whole other can of worms. I mean, he can see his grandkids, but you get the point. And another guy says to him, okay, glad things are still ticking along. But what are your kids saying to you about how they're feeling? You keep leaving that out. I'm hoping that her holding court with them tomorrow doesn't manipulate any of them, especially if they all know where you are now. She pulled the wool over your eyes for ages. She's clearly going to try to do that with your kids. See? I'm not the only one that thinks that. She's going to pull some bullshit. Because, I don't know, given the fact that she's been cheating on him all this time and everything, and I don't think any of you guys think that this is the first time, this is her first rodeo in the cheating arena. She's been doing it probably all along. I'm not sure if I understand the logic of reporting the affair partner to his work. I think you'd lose some of your righteousness if you did that. It would be malicious, and this kind of thing that might lose your sympathy. Think about whether it's worth it. What did he just say? Lose your righteousness? Is this clearly this guy saying this to our guy here is one of these people who think like, I'm going to take the higher road. I'm going to be the better person thing. Fuck that. I hate when I hear these stories and somebody is wrong so much, so badly, and they say, I'm going to be the better person here. Fuck that. Fight fire with fire. I got no problem with this guy gets that asshole fired from his job because he and the wife work together. I just wouldn't try to get the wife fired for, this type of conduct with fellow workers until they're divorced. Because otherwise you may have to pay her more fucking alimony or whatever. And our guy here responds, I'm not interested in giving any details other than broad information about my kids and their feelings on this. My logic is that some of the affair took place during work hours on company property. Righteousness has nothing to do with it. I don't care about anybody's sympathy. This is not a popularity contest for me. Thank you. Who cares about being the better person or the higher road? That's a bunch of crap. This guy deserves a lot of bad things coming to him. And frankly, his wife. He also says, no, I don't, but I have evidence of sexual conduct on the company property during work hours. I'm guessing it won't matter what their policy is. Another guy said, this is the last one. And another one says to him, I'm confused. You must be semi-close with your BFF's husband. He was at the bar with you the night that you were attacked by the affair partner. This is a little confusing. Why you would not just call him? I hope you have more evidence than the text message between your wife and her BFF to send to the math teacher's wife. You had a pretty good game plan up until this point, and it seems like it doesn't seem to make sense. You also had 7 months to get a new cell number instead of shutting off your cell and using some email for communication. I'm a little lost, but hope you're hanging in there. And our guy responds, let me simplify a bit. The BFF's husband is not necessarily a close friend, but we know each other through our wives. I'm not close enough to be privy to things that have happened in their marriage. He may already know or not. I will let him know, but at the time of my choosing, more to impact my soon-to-be ex and keep her off balance about what I know and who was complicit. There you go. Yeah, because that night when they were all at that bar where that guy sucker punched him and knocked him out, it was him and his wife, the BFF, her BFF and her husband, and this dude's sister and brother-in-law, if I recall. And so, yeah, her BFF has been cheating, just like her, and he's going to let this guy know, but it's not like they're super close. But a bro should let another bro know, regardless of how close they are with the cheating and all. So both these a-hole wives got to go down. So there you go, guys. That's what's been going on here. And like I said, there's going to be probably many updates to this story. So as you see them come in, let me know, because I can't possibly monitor updates for every freaking story I've been doing here in the last, 6 months or so. So you guys are a great help. So let me know. I'll cover it. And I do expect things to get ugly. I don't trust the soon-to-be ex-wife at all with what she's going to say to those kids. I'm sure you're all thinking the same thing here. And I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks before things finally settle down. So I wish this guy the best. But at the end of the day, he did handle it quite well. I mean, 7 months keeping your cool and gathering evidence, that is some serious strength there. That is some serious resolve. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you find a good story you want me to cover, send it my way, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.